What if I told you the way you position your head and neck tonight could increase your risk of stroke by up to 4 times without you feeling a thing?
Most people think stroke risk is about diet, blood pressure, or cholesterol, and yes, those matter. But what the research is showing now is that your sleeping position, especially after age 60, can be a hidden trigger for reduced blood flow, poor brain detox, and dangerous nighttime vascular pressure. I'm going to show you
The exact sleeping position most strongly linked to nighttime blood vessel compression.
how certain postures can trap waste toxins inside your brain overnight, increasing neurodegeneration risk.
And more importantly, the safe adjustments you can make starting tonight to protect your brain for decades to come.
Here's the part that shocks me as a brain doctor. Most of these risks aren't about having a bad mattress or pillow, they're about physics. Your arteries and veins are like soft, flexible tubes, and depending on where your head and body are positioned, you can either encourage a smooth flow of oxygen rich blood or literally pinch that flow for hours without knowing it.
We still break this down in simple terms.
I still show you why one particular side can worsen blood flow in older adults with carotid artery plaque, how a certain head angle can slow your brain's nightly detox system, the glymphatic system,
And why one common sleeping posture silently strains your heart and neck arteries, especially if you already have high blood pressure or stiff vessels. By the way, stick around for segment 4. Almost everyone I've tested does this mistake without realizing it, and it silently increases nighttime blood pressure spikes.
and yes, I'll give you the step by step protocol to change your position without losing sleep quality. So grab your cup of tea, settle in, and let's dive into the science of how you sleep, because it could be the difference between waking up healthy or waking up in the ER.
Here sits what's really going on inside your body when you sleep. Most people don't realize this, but the position of your neck at night can physically compress the blood vessels that feed your brain.
Let me break this down with a simple analogy.
Imagine your carotid artery, the main supply line of oxygen-rich blood to your brain, is like a garden hose.
When the hose is brand new and the water is flowing strong, you can bend it slightly and still get water through.
But if that hose is older, stiffer, or already has some buildup inside, even a small bend can choke the flow dramatically. Now, here sits the problem.
As we age, especially after 60, the inside of our carotid arteries can develop plaque buildup. You may not even know it's there. This is called asymptomatic carotid atherosclerosis.
And when you sleep on your right side with your head tilted sharply downward toward your chest, you can compress the carotid artery on the right side, the very artery supplying the brain hemisphere that controls speech, memory, and movement.
What the research actually shows is that in older adults, this position can reduce blood flow velocity enough to impair oxygen delivery, sometimes for hours. That means your brain cells are essentially running on low battery all night long. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about blood flow in, it's also about blood flow out. When you compress the jugular vein on one side of your neck, you trap venous blood and waste inside the brain, which can raise intracranial pressure. That's a setup for headaches, grogginess, and over the long term, higher stroke risk.
The lymphatic connection. You've probably heard of the lymphatic system, which clears waste from your body, but inside your brain, you have a similar cleaning crew, the lymphatic system. It works mostly at night, flushing out amyloids, tau, and other toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. When your head and neck are compressed, that lymphatic drainage slows down. Think of it like a sink that's draining slowly. By morning, there's still dirty water sitting there. Over years, that's one way neurodegeneration can silently build. Who's at most at risk? Adults over 60 with high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol.
Anyone with known carotid artery plaque.
People who already have sleep apnea because airway narrowing plus vessel compression equals sign double trouble. The fix: position tweaks. If you like sleeping on your right side, here sits the safer version. Use a pillow with a cutout or a contour to keep your neck aligned and your head slightly elevated. This reduces both arterial compression and reflux risk.
Avoid tucking your chin sharply toward your chest. Keep the head in a neutral or slightly upward position. Place a small pillow between your knees to reduce shoulder rotation, which helps keep your neck aligned.
Whiteboard visual bad posture versus improved posture. With pillow cutout, this way, you can keep your preferred side but dramatically lower the mechanical risk to your brain's blood supply. If this is helpful so far, tap the like button so more people over 60 can learn about this because most strokes happen during sleep or early in the morning, and very few people are talking about this hidden risk. Most people think sleeping on their back is automatically the healthiest position. But here's what's really going on inside your body when you lie completely flat, especially if you're over 60. When you're horizontal, gravity stops assisting the return of blood from your brain back to your heart. That means your intracranial pressure, the pressure inside your skull, can naturally rise. In a young, healthy brain, the drainage pathways can keep up, but with age, those pathways, your jugular veins, and your brain's lymphatic system aren't as efficient.
Why this matters for stroke risk?
Here sits the part most doctors don't mention.
At night, your blood pressure follows a circadian pattern. It should dip 10-20% while you sleep. But if your drainage is impaired, your brain tissues are essentially waterlogged, and that can affect perfusion pressure, which is the balance between incoming and outgoing blood. This imbalance can put extra strain on small, fragile vessels, making them more likely to rupture.
In fact, a 2023 MRI-based study showed that lying flat for extended periods increases periventricular white matter hyperintensities, which is a fancy way of saying micro damage to the wiring of your brain. Over time, that damage is linked to cognitive decline and mobility issues. Respiratory tie-in. Now, let's tie this to your breathing. If you snore or have even mild sleep apnea, lying flat can cause your tongue and soft palate to slide back, narrowing the airway. When you stop breathing for a few seconds, oxygen levels drop, but because you're horizontal, the COI and other waste gases aren't cleared as efficiently from your brain. It's a double whammy. Less oxygen in, slower clearance out. The solution? Gravity as your ally. You can dramatically improve this situation with one simple tweak.
Elevate the head of your bed by 4-6 inches. Not just your pillow, this creates a gentle incline so gravity can help both blood flow and lymphatic drainage out of the brain. If elevating the bed frame isn't possible, use a wedge pillow that supports the head, neck, and upper torso without bending your neck forward.
Whiteboard visual flat versus inclined position. Arrows showing improved drainage. This not only reduces stroke risk but can also improve sinus drainage, reduce nighttime reflux, and even help with morning headaches.
Speaking directly to the viewer.
Most people don't realize this, but astronauts in zero gravity often experience head pressure and vision problems because without gravity, fluid builds up in the head. Sleeping flat here on Earth mimics a mild version of that, and the fix is ridiculously simple.
Quick pro tip. If you also want to support brain detox, combine this incline with sideline positions that don't compress the neck. That's like hitting the brainwash button overnight. If this is opening your eyes, stick with me, because in the next section, we'll talk about a sleeping mistake that silently raises your blood sugar all night long and accelerates aging from the inside out. Here's something most people, and even many doctors, don't realize. Your sleeping position can influence how stable your blood sugar remains overnight. The liver angle problem. When you sleep on your right side, especially after a carb-heavy dinner, your liver rests slightly lower than your stomach due to gravity. This positioning can affect the
lymphatic portal circulation, the major blood supply that delivers nutrients from your digestive tract to your liver. Why does that matter? If your body is still digesting, that position can lead to slower glucose clearance from the bloodstream. Your pancreas may keep pumping out insulin for hours. And if you already have insulin resistance, which many people over 60 do, this means higher overnight blood sugar, cortisol, and nighttime stress hormones. Here sits what sits really going on inside your body.
When blood sugar stays elevated, your adrenal glands release cortisol to help manage it. Cortisol is a daytime hormone. It keeps you alert, so if it spikes at night, your deep sleep gets cut short. Poor deep sleep, less growth hormone release, slower repair of your blood vessels and brain cells. And over months and years, that means accelerated aging.
What the research shows. A 2024 study in Frontiers in Endocrinology found that people who consistently slept on their right side after dinner had 10–15% higher fasting blood sugar compared to those who favored left side or inclined sleeping. Left side sleeping helps position the stomach lower than the esophagus, promoting better gastric emptying and potentially less reflux. And it also encourages a healthier liver blood flow pattern.
Simple fix. If you sit trying to stabilize blood sugar and reduce stroke risk at the same time,
avoid sleeping flat on your right side immediately after eating. Wait at least 2–3 hours.
favor left side or inclined sleeping for the first half of the night when digestion and liver activity are most intense. Combine this with a low-carb or keto-friendly dinner to minimize the insulin surge in the first place.
Whiteboard visual: left side sleeping, better liver drainage, right side slower clearance.
The ripple effect on brain health. Most people don't realize this, but higher nighttime blood sugar doesn't just affect diabetes risk. It directly impacts brain health. Excess glucose increases glycation end products, sticky molecules that damage proteins in your blood vessels. That means stiffer arteries, less flexible capillaries, and more chance of microvascular strokes.
Quick pro tip. If you tend to wake up at 3 a.m. and can't fall back asleep, that might be a cortisol spike from unstable blood sugar. Stabilize your dinner timing and position, and you might fix that problem without any pills. If you're finding this useful, hit that like button so we can get this information to more people. Because the next section is even more surprising. A common pillow habit that silently raises your blood pressure every single night.
Most people think of pillows as harmless, just a comfort choice.
But here sits what sits really going on inside your body when you use certain pillow positions. Your neck is home to two carotid arteries, the main highways delivering oxygen-rich blood to your brain. If your pillow forces your neck into a compressed angle, especially if you sleep on your side with your chin tilted toward your chest, you can reduce blood flow to your brain overnight. Why this matters for stroke risk? The carotid arteries have baroreceptors, pressure sensors that help regulate blood pressure. When these sensors get compressed for hours during sleep, they can trigger a reflex that causes blood pressure spikes or drops. For someone already at higher risk, over 60, metabolic issues, stiff arteries, these fluctuations can increase the chance of a clot or microstroke. Most people don't realize this. It's not just blood flow, neck compression can affect your jugular veins too, which are responsible for draining blood out of your brain. Poor drainage can lead to slight intracranial pressure increases overnight, not enough to notice right away, but over years it can contribute to brain fog, dizziness, or more serious issues. What the research actually shows.
A 2023 study in sleep and breathing found that people with chronic pillow-induced neck flexion had higher morning blood pressure and reduced cerebral perfusion compared to those with a neutral neck position.
The simple fix.
Choose a pillow that supports without forcing your neck forward or sideways too much.
If you're a side sleeper, your pillow height should match the distance from your shoulder to your neck so your spine stays neutral. Avoid sleeping with your arm under the pillow. This often pushes the neck forward. For seniors with existing vascular issues, a contour pillow or thin wedge can help maintain open airway and vessel alignment. Analogy time. Think of your carotid arteries like flexible garden hoses.
If you put a heavy book on them, the water flow slows down. Do that every night, and the hose starts to stiffen over time. Your arteries are no different. They respond to long-term mechanical stress with stiffness and plaque buildup.
Bonus tip for brain health.
If you want to go the extra mile, combine proper pillow alignment with slight head elevation, 5-7 degrees. This small incline can help with venous drainage and reduce nighttime blood pressure spikes.
If this is making you rethink your pillow choice, drop a comment below with the words better sleep, better brain. I'd love to hear what changes you're making. Here's something most people never connect to stroke risk: how you breathe while you sleep. We tend to think of breathing as automatic. Your body just does it, right? But your sleeping position can directly affect how much oxygen reaches your brain and how much carbon dioxide builds up overnight. What's really going on inside your body? When you lie flat on your back with your chin tilted upward or to the side, your tongue and soft palate can collapse backward, partially blocking your airway. If you're over 60, your throat muscles are naturally a little less toned, and this narrowing becomes even easier. The result? Microapneas, tiny pauses in breathing that may not fully wake you, but still starve your brain of oxygen for seconds at a time. Why this matters for stroke risk? Every time oxygen levels dip, your brain sends an urgent signal to your heart to pump harder. This triggers blood pressure surges, often dozens or even hundreds of times a night, which can strain the tiny blood vessels in your brain. Over years, this repeated stress is like bending a paperclip over and over until it snaps. Only here, it's your blood vessels. Most people don't realize this. It's not just bad snoring. Even mild airway obstruction can cause nocturnal hypoxia, low oxygen at night. A 2024 Journal of Neurology review found that seniors with even mild untreated sleep apnea had 3 times the risk of certain types of stroke compared to those with clear nighttime breathing. The positional breathing trick. If you tend to snore or wake up tired, try side sleeping instead of back sleeping. This helps gravity pull the tongue forward. Use a body pillow to keep yourself in position. If you must sleep on your back, elevate the head of your bed 4-6 inches and avoid pillows that push your chin up.
Analogy time.
Think of your airway like a garden hose. If you lie in a way that kinks the hose just slightly, water still flows, but at a reduced rate. Over time, that reduced flow affects everything downstream. Your brain depends on steady oxygen, and even small nightly drops can take a toll. Bonus protocol. For those serious about prevention, consider myofunctional exercises. They strengthen the tongue and throat muscles, helping keep the airway open naturally. Just 5 minutes of daily targeted exercises can improve nighttime breathing in as little as 4 weeks. If you're starting to connect the dots between sleep breathing and brain health, tap that like button. It tells me you want more videos breaking down these hidden risks.
Here's a stroke risk factor that flies under the radar: what you eat in the hours before bed. Most people assume nighttime snacking just affects weight, but it also plays a huge role in brain vessel health and stroke risk. What's really going on inside your body? When you eat a carb-heavy dinner or snack, bread, pasta, sweets, even healthy cereals, your blood sugar spikes. Your pancreas responds with a surge of insulin to bring it back down. But here sits the kicker. That spike is often followed by a steeper drop in blood sugar during the night. Your body senses the drop as an emergency,
releasing adrenaline and cortisol to bring it back up. Why this matters for stroke risk. Those hormone surges increase blood pressure at night, cause microinflammation in vessel walls, reduce deep restorative sleep stages when your brain detoxifies via the lymphatic system.
Over time, these repeated disruptions act like tiny chemical insults to your blood vessels, making them more vulnerable to clotting or rupture.
Most people don't just realize this. Even healthy whole grains at dinner can cause nighttime glucose instability if eaten too late.
A 2023 American Journal of Cardiology study found that people who ate high-carb dinners within 3 hours of bedtime had 30% higher nighttime blood pressure compared to those who finished eating earlier.
The root cause solution? Here's just the simple fix.
Time your last meal ideally 3-4 hours before sleep. Balance macros, pair protein, and healthy fats with any carbs to slow glucose absorption. If you must snack late, choose low glycemic foods like a handful of nuts or a small piece of cheese.
Analogy time.
Imagine your blood vessels as roads. A big blood sugar spike is like dumping heavy traffic on the highway all at once. The cleanup crews insulin rush in, but sometimes they overcompensate, leaving the road eerily empty, which triggers emergency vehicles, cortisol to flood back in. This constant stop and go stresses the road structure, just like it stresses your arteries.
Bonus protocol. For seniors or anyone over 50.
Add a 10-minute light walk after dinner. It can reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 30%. Include magnesium-rich foods to support insulin sensitivity. Speaking directly to viewer.
If you're learning something new here, drop in the comments. I read every one. It also helps YouTube know this is content worth sharing.
Closing transition.
We've covered 6 major sleeping position and lifestyle mistakes that silently raise stroke risk overnight. Now, let's pull it all together in the conclusion, so you can take action tonight, not someday. Over the past, you've discovered the sleeping position mistake that compresses vital neck and brain vessels,
Pillow and posture errors that alter blood flow,
hidden nighttime blood pressure spikes and how to prevent them, inflammation triggers from hidden sleep apnea or mouth breathing, electrolyte imbalances that strain your cardiovascular system, late-night blood sugar spikes that quietly damage vessel health.
why this matters.
Every one of these factors chips away at the brain's resilience.
Over time, they set the stage for stroke, cognitive decline, and energy loss, often without any obvious warning signs.
The good news: every single one is modifiable. You have far more control than you've been led to believe. Here sets my challenge for you tonight. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. That's a recipe for frustration. Instead, pick just one thing. Change your sleeping position. Stop eating 3 hours before bed. Add that short post-dinner walk.
And then observe, pay attention to your energy, clarity, and sleep quality over the next week. Your body will often reward even the smallest changes in ways you can feel. Your brain is not just an organ, it's the command center for every part of your life. Protecting it isn't optional, it's essential.
The way you sleep, eat, and breathe tonight literally shapes your brain health for decades to come.
So take this knowledge, apply one protocol today, and build momentum. Because stroke prevention isn't just about avoiding disease, it's about staying sharp, strong, and independent for as long as possible. If this video opened your eyes, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. I post videos like this every week, and your engagement helps more people get this life-saving information. Stay well, sleep smart, and I'll see you in the next video.